Queen of England, Starbucks reinstates fire employees, and the Amazon facility is still on hold. That and more today on APSU-TV News. Welcome to the latest episode of APSU-TV News. I'm Bartee with your weekly news. The death of Queen Elizabeth was the second sent shockwaves of sorrow around the globe. Mary Maloney has the latest.
Outside Windsor Castle, a new wall is forming of flowers. Massive waves of mourners descending on palaces across the UK. Royal symbols of power turn to a place of grieving for people paying their respects to the longest reigning British monarch.
Because she's our queen. Always will be.
Britain's new prime minister paying tribute in a press conference saying, quote, "She ascended the throne just after the Second World War. She championed the development of the Commonwealth from a small group of 7 countries to a family of 56 nations spanning every continent of the world. We are now a modern, thriving, dynamic nation. Through thick and thin, Queen Elizabeth II provided us with the stability and the strength that we needed. She was the very spirit of Great Britain, and that spirit will endure." The Queen's son, Charles, has now ascended to the throne, His Majesty officially taking the name King Charles III. The new king issuing a statement on his mother's death saying, "I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms, and the Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world. During this period of mourning and change, my family and I will be comforted and sustained by our knowledge of the respect and deep affection in which the Queen was so widely held." I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Starbucks said it will reinstate 7 employees who were fired in February after leaving an effort to unionize in their Memphis store. The workers will get their jobs back after the Seattle-based coffee giant lost an appeal of a lower court's order to reinstate them. Starbucks says the workers violated company policy by reopening the store after closing time and inviting a television crew inside. But the National Labor Relations Board determined the company was infringing on the workers' right to organize. Last month, a federal court in Memphis ruled Starbucks should reinstate the workers while its case was being heard. Starbucks appealed, but on Tuesday, a federal appeals court upheld the lower court ruling. Louisiana native Lena Wilson was having a breaking out year as she topped the Country Music Association nominations in her first year as a nominee, earning nods in 6 categories. Wilson earned critical success with her song "Things a Man Ought to Know," leading her to a nomination in Album of Year, Female Vocalist, and Song of the Year. Wilson is the only 4th artist in the history of CMAs to earn 6 nominations in her first year. Other leading nominations include Ashley McDeard, Carl Pearson, Chris Stapleton, and writer-producer Sean Allen. The CMA Awards, hosted by Luke Bryan and Pearson Manning, will air November 9th on ABC. The city of Memphis is still reeling on Wednesday's shooting spree. 4 people were killed and 3 others were injured. 19-year-old Ilsa Cayley was arrested and charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, but more charges are expected. One woman, who doesn't want to be identified, says that she and her children had a close encounter with him that left them traumatized. Kaylee Solom has her story.
Trying to be a good Samaritan, almost cost me my life.
What started off as a normal Wednesday pizza date for one Memphis woman, her children, and nieces quickly turned into a near-death encounter.
It was literally within 4 minutes of us leaving the pizza place to everything happening.
She says that's when she started seeing posts about a shooter on the loose. At that time, she was driving on Poplar Avenue near McLean when a driver crashed his car.
I'm noticing the guy in the car getting out. he's climbing through the passenger window. As he's getting out the window, I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And by the time he made it out the window and ran to my car, he's like got the gun holding it to his chest.
That man turned out to be Ezekiel Kelly, and she said she recognized his face from the post on social media.
He proceeds to go around the back of my car, like going to the passenger side to get in. And as he goes for my passenger door, that's when I realized, like, this him. I take off.
As the woman took off, she said she saw the suspect in the rearview mirror trying to get access to any and every car in that area. The car he eventually took belonged to Allison Parker, a medical assistant at the Family Practice Center in West Memphis, according to the doctor's office. She was shot and killed.
I'll never pull over to help no one else. I'm sorry. Like, I cannot. It's just too dangerous. It's too dangerous. It's too scary. And to think that not only myself, but I put my kids in that predicament.
Tourists are spending more money in Clarksville in Montgomery County. The community was listed as the 9th spot in Tennessee for tourism spending last year, Clarksville Now reports. Clarksville and Montgomery County visiting spending topped $340 million in 2001. Those figures come from the economic data released by the Tourism Economics and U.S. Travel Association. Local spending reflects a 35% increase over 2020 and has climbed back to 97% of the country's 2019 record-breaking total of $352 million. Adding indirect spending from supporting businesses, total visitor sales equal more than $500 million. Plans from an Amazon distribution facility in Clarksville are on hold for almost a year. Clarksville Now reports Amazon has delayed or canceled plans for at least 16 fulfillment centers across the nation, one of those being in Clarksville, according to Front Waves, an industry publication. Construction of the new building located in Corporate Business Park along Gritter High Way was completed earlier this year. The National Business Journal reports the company is holding off getting things running for at least 8 to 10 months. Amazon says the rest for the delay is supply chain issues. Officials told the Clarksville-Montgomery County Economic Development Council that they don't want to invest in the manpower until they have all their materials in a distribution center. A resolution adopting the City of Clarksville's litigation agenda received several amendments last week, one of them calling for a reappeal of state abortion laws caused by a series of among council members. While the council does not have the authority to enact or repeal state laws, they do have the opportunity to spend a list of them and items to state lawmakers for consideration. The list is characterized by a priority of items and items of interest. The abortion matter is now listed under items of interest after a 7-4 vote. There are no longer any candidates running for the Ward 2 seat of Clarksville City Council. Clarksville Now reports official complaints were filed by citizens in 2021 claiming that councilperson Vadil Richmond was living outside the ward he represents. Investigation ensured, which is still underway. The Montgomery County Election Commission has questioned Richmond's re-election eligibility. Richmond filed a petition with the elections office and was invited to a meeting to discuss the availability. Montgomery County Elections Advisor Elizabeth Black says that Richmond did not appear and was therefore ruled ineligible for re-election, as no candidates were running against Richmond and leaving the seat empty after the start of the next year. Since the quality deadline has passed, Black said the only other option was for someone living in Ward to come forward as the write-in candidate. We will be back after this commercial break.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
It's a pretty nice day right now here in Clarksville with it being 83 degrees, the wind moving at about southeast at 6 miles per hour. Tonight for the lows, it'll be 38 degrees, a big drop if you ask me, with the wind moving at about 5 miles per hour, and there is a 15% chance of participation. Now looking at the 5-day forecast, today, like I said, high of 86, and it's looking like a low of 66. With Saturday, the high will be 81, cloudy, and a low of 65. We have Austin Peay football going on that day, so that should be good weather for that. And Sunday, we have scattered thunderstorms and a high of 81 and a low of 57. So if you have plans, want to get out the house, might want to pick Saturday to do that. With Monday, it'll be a sunny day, a high of 78 and a low of 58. Then Tuesday, also a sunny day. It'll be a high of 82 and a low of 57. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with sports here on APSU-TV.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Good afternoon and welcome inside the Sports Zone. Jahmar Perkins here, and we've had a couple of sports that have already kicked off their season and some that are getting ready to start as soon as this weekend. Our women's soccer team have been competing in some non-conference matches in the past few weeks and have managed to win 1 game, lose 3, and tie 3, which with how many ties this team has had so far shows how competitive and defensive they can be. Their latest contest came against previous OVC foe Belmont last night and lost 1-0, but they'll look to gain their second win of the season this Sunday at home against Alabama A&M at 1 p.m. Our women's volleyball team have also started their season and are currently 2-3. They have taken on some tough teams such as Clemson and Florida State and will look to take on a tougher team this weekend as they will play the number 21 ranked team in the nation, Western Kentucky, this Saturday at 3 p.m. Also this Saturday, while the volleyball team will be in Kentucky, your very own Governor football team will be at Fort Terra Stadium for a 3 p.m. kickoff against Mississippi Valley State. The Govs are currently 1-1 after a loss to Western Kentucky in the college football opener and a dominating, and I do mean dominating, effort against Presbyterian last week, winning 63-0. If you can't come out to the game, you can listen in as Zach Pugh and I will have the call on WAPX 91.9.FM. Also, before I go in, I hinted earlier that our men and women's golf ball team will be in action for the first time this fall season at the Golf Week Program Challenge in South Carolina from Sunday till Tuesday. So we wish them the best of luck. And that is going to do it for sports. Once again, Jahmar Perkins here, excited to share more sports and news actions here with you for over the course of the semester. Stay tuned though, more news coming up on APSU-TV.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee. Fort Knox, Kentucky. Jackson, Tennessee.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Gaffney, South Carolina.
Seattle, Washington.
Jeremy, Haiti.
I'm from Três Pontas, Brazil.
Chicago, Illinois.
Hawaii.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Braselton, Georgia.
From Modesto, California. I want to be a neonatal nurse.
An athletic trainer and accountant.
Playing the NFL.
Interior designer.
Physical therapist.
Law enforcement officer.
Ultrasound technician. Social worker.
Physician. Politician.
Psychologist.
CPA.
Be a social worker.
Nurse practitioner.
Physical therapist.
Restaurant owner.
A politician.
Start my own business.
Veterinary. Elementary school teacher.
The NBA player.
Cardiovascular surgeon.
Anesthesiologist.
Businesswoman in Nashville.
Social worker in Miami, Florida.
Politician in Washington, D.C.
Colorado.
Orlando, Florida.
Houston, Texas. Chattanooga.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Seattle, Washington.
Nashville, Tennessee. San Diego, California.
Nashville, Tennessee.
New York City, New York.
San Diego, California.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Nashville.
Los Angeles, California.
New York, New York.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Orlando, Florida.
Los Angeles, California.
Baltimore, Maryland. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Carolina Beach, Carolina.
Philadelphia.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
A new effort seeks to help veterans who do not know where to get their next meal is coming from. Operation Commissary is a new initiative of Operation Stand Down Tennessee to address food insecurity across veterans in Middle Tennessee. Those who served our country in our uniforms are twice likely to become food insecure because they are less likely to seek assistance. This initiative motto provides non-perishable food along with instructions to receive additional grocery assistance. Together, our partners and supporters, we honor and serve veterans and their families. Every month, the Newton Military Family Resource Center will receive free groceries to pass it on to active duty military, veterans, the dependents, and all military official students. Stop by 426 College Street and pick up your bag. You can get ready for that next big job interview during a special event at APSU. Career Services and local employees will conduct mock interviews this fall. You can register for a 30-minute practice interview by selecting a time that works for you and under the Events tab and Jobs for Govs on Peay link, and search for mock interview, or you can call Career Services at 931-221-6544 to receive your time slot. Two in-person meetings are set for September 14th and October 19th. Virtual meeting via Zoom is set for November 16th. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us at Facebook at APSU-TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching APSU TV News Update, and as always, let's go Peay.